Hello everyone, this is Greyshot17
And Greyshot151 here.
and we are today reviewing Murder on the Orient Express.
Yes, not the kidnapping, not the
robbery.
manslaughter, the robbery, the rape,
Not the attempted carjacking.
or the
Now,
Grand
how they
Theft,
got the car on the train is another matter.
or the Grand
entirely.
Theft Auto.
Yes. That's what anyway.
It's a better term.
Moving
For
on.
our audience, I mean, I'm just saying.
Moving on, this film is actually quite a surprise. For when I haven't really seen anything except for the first teaser trailer, and actually the teaser did a great job because it only showed
The suspects. And
the suspects, and you knew someone died, but you had a great suspicion that was Johnny Depp.
Oh yeah, you knew it was Johnny
So
Depp. There's no doubt.
yeah. So after that, you're like, okay, who did it? And as someone who, by the way, has not, at least recently, read one detective book starring Hercule Poirot. Hercule Poirot. I want to make sure I'm getting that name correct because, goddamn, the comments will get me otherwise. And I don't think I've ever seen the '74 film or the 2001 TV movie. Go ahead.
I've heard of this movie.
Yeah.
Not this movie,
The
but
concept.
This
book.
I've heard of it.
It's based off a book
I didn't
series.
know it was a detective series though. Like this guy, the person that is in this investigation has we were doing quick research, 33 books to his name
And 50 total stories, and a lot of them are short
He's
stories.
big. I've never heard of him before.
Yeah,
but
this is
Hercule Poirot, and it's. Let me just say this: this is the best detective and the one I've enjoyed the most, probably since Monk. Yeah. Tony Shalhoub does a great job in regards to being OCD, and he creates his own spin on it. That show aside.
Yeah.
Poirot is just captivating every time he's on screen.
Yes.
Every time.
Yes.
But to the film itself,
he has a joyous heart, but also one filled with darkness that kind of you get more and more like, oh god. Because at the beginning of the movie, it's fun and happy. He solves the case, and it's a lot more.
It's very comical.
Yeah, it's comical. But then, and even the beginning of this film is a lot more comical. There is little seeps of darkness, but once
there's also
it
a lot
gets
of
night and
there's a lot of good humor.
But then the film starts shifting to more of a darker tone
as the investigation dives deeper and deeper to try to find the murderer aboard the train.
Oh, that was terrible. Anyway, actually, funny enough,
dramatic.
I love how also he keeps being like, "Excuse me, we need you for a case." It's like, let me guess. This and this, and they're like, yeah. It's like, of course, and it's like, but I'm not going. I'm on vacation. He keeps saying I'm on vacation, and they keep we need you here, we need you there. He's like, oh my god.
Which I will get to. One shot that I really enjoyed, but let me just say this for the film itself: it is gorgeously shot.
This is a gorgeous film.
Everything is realized. This looks like 1930s. It starts in the Middle East, specifically in. I don't think this is a major spoiler in regards to Jerusalem, the Wailing Wall, specifically. There's this location. It's wonderfully realized. Then it moves into the Istanbul, the Ottoman capital, and essentially that
Turkey. It's 1934. Turkish.
Yeah, sorry, Turkey capital, and that's why it's called the Oriental Express, essentially. And they are trapped in the mountains when a murder occurs. But I will say that every shot with the mountain, the shot with the city, it is gorgeous. It's CGI. There's no doubt about it. But I was like, I would want to see this again. This is a beautiful shot.
Yes.
Beautiful. And everything practical on the train is wonderful.
I also love how there's 4 cars, and you really only see 3. I think.
Yeah, but I will say
it looks like a real place. They use anywhere you can fit a camera. They somehow put it there, and I love that for it.
I will again.
And there's some long shots too. There's really long shots. I'm like, oh wow,
and it works. They introduce all the characters, and you get kind of the same shots repeated throughout the film in different directions. You also get. What I will say is one of the best intros to basically the incident occurs. Which I'm skipping a little ahead, but here's why. In regards to how they are discovered, most people would focus on the body immediately. But the director chooses, or whoever decided, let's not choose let's not focus on the body. Let's focus on the reaction, or not even the reaction of the people. It shows the top of the heads of
and that
Perdo,
makes it even more
the
like,
director
oh,
of
God.
the train.
Yeah.
It's just like, you don't see what's going on. You just know their reactions, and you can just see how they're moving and such, and their reaction, their voice, and it's captivating.
By the way, Boick is his name, the guy who is
the director, the director of the train.
Yeah, and I love him because he and Gurkyo have some of the best chemistry, back and forth banter as well. It's great. It's just like. And it's like, how are you doing? It's like, and they go into it, and it's just like, you're a terrible person. It's like, I know, and I like to keep it that way. And it's just like,
there's also a moment where he's like, you just see this asshole.
Yeah.
Like when the first introduction is Perdo, he's just inside of a kitchen. He's just loving every moment of it because
he's
like
enjoying the
perfection.
pastries. Yes. And even there, I'm like, I want that pastry.
And then all of a sudden, this asshole, who I could have sworn would have been just like a joke.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be Perdo's going to like. I thought there was going to be something like he falls into a pie or something.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to lead to a joke. And he turns out to be a major character.
And
I'm just
like,
huh?
And it's hilarious because it's like, oh, how you doing?
I need a place for an hour. And then he runs, Perdo! It's like, oh, yes, you and your friend, a whore. Yeah, how'd you know? It's like, it's just so unique.
And she is so enamored by like, I
You're
know
the
who you are.
Yeah. Oh my God, I've heard so much about you.
Like, the guy, Perdo's famous, and I like that, how people go up to him like, oh my God, you're awesome.
And listen, if you were to see Robert Downey Jr. or Tony Shalhoub or any of these actors, if you saw them in a newspaper, maybe you could spot, like, I would say Tony Shalhoub, he wears the same damn thing every time, but so people could recognize him, and that's understandable when people say, I know this person. Dear God, take up 1 second of the main lead. His mustache is a character by itself.
It's like, you have the one, and it just keeps going,
it keeps
and
growing.
One.
Like, I swear when this person dies, it's going to envelop his face. It looks like it's an infection spreading.
And there's a great joke that actually quite a few that they tie
with the mustache. And Jesus Christ, you see this guy and you're never going to forget him. I will remember that mustache.
Yeah.
There is no mustache that, like, people think, oh yes, look at this marvelous, unique stash. The only person that I can think of that rivals this is Hitler, because no one else does the short stash.
Great. Look, I hate to break it to you, but you're as famous as Hitler in stashes.
Okay,
congratulations.
By the way, I just want to give you a head. This is going on. I would highly recommend the Hearts of Iron content. The first episode, you're going to hate me for the name. It's in the name of the Tsar. It's going to be great. Any case, back to the actual review. So the characters themselves. This movie wouldn't be a fourth as good without at least good suspects.
Yeah.
And wow, they have a hell of a cast.
Yeah.
The one that I know off the top.
Dafoe, Judi Dench. You got Johnny Depp as the poor bastard
that dies. Yeah.
Which, by the way, I'm like, oh, he's gonna die. Why? Because he's acting like not Johnny Depp, like over exaggerating. And I'm looking at this like Johnny Depp's always like that quirky character, and he's like, we have this table. He's like, I want that one, and it's like, oh God, he's gonna do this. But no, he actually
has a reason.
Yeah, he actually has a really good reason, and it's just like, oh boy, this is getting good. I actually liked the time we saw with him. But then you have Michelle Pfeiffer, Daisy Ridley. I mean, you have a ton of great actors and actresses.
And let me just say this: this is not. Everyone does their role fantastically. Like, there's not like. There are some moments where you're thinking, that's out of character, or this doesn't work, or this or that. Oh, that's from Daisy Ridley from Star Wars? Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
I did not even realize. I just realized, I was like, that name's Oh.
Again,
yeah,
everyone there was not a bad performance. There seriously was not.
My favorite was most likely the gentleman's assistant, the larger gentleman.
Yes.
With the that was from the United States, and then the what was the other guy? William Dafoe's character. Yeah. The butler was good. And there were some unique casts among them, but oh my God, that. William Dafoe's character is so good. Like, he starts out one way, ends in another, and it's just so hilarious in regards to how you get from one point to the other. But yeah, how the clues are positioned, the little snippets, the little notes of how
Josh Gad.
Oh, Josh Gad. Yeah.
Yes.
How things move and how things continue. Oh, he's from Beauty and the Beast. He was the fool.
I want to say yes.
Is he?
Yep, Beauty and the Beast.
Yes. Okay, I got it. There you go.
He's really good in this.
Yeah.
Like, again, there's not a bad performance in this film. There's very few flaws in this film, which is funny because you look at, like, the Metacritic and stuff like that, and it's like, it's not getting the best reviews. So I was a little worried, but then I'm watching, like...
I didn't look at any of the reviews. I heard, like, mixed, but...
Yeah, and it's... Again, for it's an older film. There's not a lot of action. It's a lot of talking. It's a lot of just... Yeah, it's a lot of dialogue based, but again, that's not a bad thing.
No.
When I go see Thor, yes, I expect a lot of action.
When I see this, I will expect murder mystery, and dear God, I loved it.
And even the action is played up to where it's not... It's doing what it does best. It's drawing you in and keeping your attention on that instead of what it should be on, which is more dialogue and what's going on behind the scenes.
The other thing I will make note of is this movie has some of the some fantastic shots in regards to not only how the backgrounds, but also in regards to the characters themselves. Like you may note with the how the camera takes and you see all the characters. Some of the shots when they're setting up some of these characters, like there's an almost with this Austrian queen, like she chooses like no, yes.
Yeah.
And then why isn't everything unpacked already? Like there's some shots that help flesh out the characters
a little bit more cuz there's a lot of characters. It's hard to get an idea of each one of them. And a lot of characters change over time. So it's like it's like trying to keep track of all of them. But they're each different enough and each unique enough that you can kind of understand where they're coming from and their habits and their motivations, even as that changes.
And also some of the shots, I will not say again, I will not spoil the ending, but some of the shots toward the end, the symbolism and some of the and like the fight of like good versus evil and that and the whole and some ideas that I will not go into because it'll spoil it. Oh my God, maybe a little on the nose. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. But yeah, now to our criticisms, which I will say are very lacking, and really it's only
like a couple effects thing. Like you mentioned, like it's cold. Why don't we see their breath?
Yeah, or there's a few notes of like I could tell these people aren't cold. Like there was a recent notice of a good reviewer, which I usually turn to for reviews, Chris Stuckerman, or at least I think that's his name.
Chris Stuckman. Go ahead.
He makes note of in the original thing they lowered the temperature of the area to 40 degrees, so people looked cold.
Yeah.
And people acted cold. In this movie, I almost wish there was like cold air blowing on them or something because they didn't look cold.
Yeah.
And it's obviously a green screen behind them in regards to the Arctic.
Yeah.
I mean, some shots.
No, it's not. They're not in the Arctic. They're in the high mountains.
Yeah.
Let's clarify.
Yeah. Sorry. In cold weather. They didn't look. It kind of felt unconvincing. There's one shot that took me out of the movie, but everything else, I was fully invested.
Yeah. I also find it interesting that maybe it's the book. I don't know. But the avalanche scene, like, if it is a true, was it 2 days before they get there? Mm-hmm. Couldn't you just have the entire thing, like, the entire expenditure just 2 days going up instead of them stuck in one location?
I think it actually helped the movie.
It helped the movie, don't get me wrong.
Because
I just find that kind of weird, like, the act of God thing coming in.
Again, this is a murder mystery.
Again, that's an extreme nitpick. I'm not even like that's an extreme nitpick.
My note is it's very much I will discuss in the spoilers.
Yes,
this is a thing I liked, but yeah, this movie
all right. Let's get on the spoilers then because
let's get on the spoilers because I want to talk about them.
But what would you give this movie?
Honestly, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. And yes, I know. Greyshot 151. What? I mean, yes, I've been hard on a lot of movies.
Yes,
especially like Thor and such. But this movie is one of the few movies, one of the only movies I can say definitively I wanted to see this again.
Immediately after this was over, I immediately wanted to be like, can we watch this again?
I immediately was like, I honestly want to see it again. Because once you know, again, it's always like going back and seeing the clues. It's very much like BioShock.
Yeah.
Replaying, knowing how that story goes.
Yeah.
It's very much, I wanted the exact same thing.
Yeah. And I want to see more movies. And I agree, 9 out of 10. Because this film, this movie, it's like, if you can get a series of these, I will be glued in the seat every single time.
Captivated.
Yeah.
Like, this guy, I want to see more of this actor. Hercule Poirot, I want to see another sequel.
And so let me get this right. Kenneth Branagh? Huh.
Let's get to the spoilers.
Yeah.
So in any case, so for our sorry for the cut, but for our review, I would give it a 9 out of 10 because this movie, again, it made me want to see it again. And there's not many even like movies I really enjoy, like Baby
Thor
Driver.
Ragnarok.
Or
Thor Ragnarok, I'm like, I want to see that again. I want to see that again. This, I want to see it again.
Yes.
And that's hard for a movie that's all dialogue. It's like, I want to watch it again. And there's no action sequence, really, that has my attention, stuff like that. I just want to see it again to get more of the characters and get more into the intrigue and the mystery.
Yeah, get more out of it. It really feels like a story that you see it once to understand it, see it twice to really sink your teeth into it. But what is your final review since you are the person?
9 out of 10. That's what I said, 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10?
Spoilers! Spoilers now.
Spoilers.
Go ahead.
So everyone's a murderer.
Yep.
Damn. Yeah, so basically it turns out, because I will say this movie, it works so well.
In the beginning, it sets up two characters that you think are going to be
guilty, but then someone covers them.
Yeah.
And then someone covers that person.
Yeah.
And then slowly but surely, all these different webs and lines are drawn between these people. And it's brilliant about the ending, because there's a moment where a character comes out and claims to be the murderer.
Yeah.
And in any other
this seems
novel
like
would have been
Run of
and I was so disappointed. Like, I literally put it in the gas. I'm like, really? Like, it's these two? I felt disappointment. For a moment I was like, this kind of just ruined the movie. This is a shitty ending.
Yeah.
And then the movie's like, fooled you. It's everyone.
Yes.
And there's a shot of all these people lined up like the Last Supper.
Yep.
And like, again, the symbolism. Like, there's this one shot where the how all these people are tied to the case, which I won't even ruin because it's so clever.
Yeah.
There's just one moment of this person making the ultimate sacrifice, literally in the center of the table. I'm just like, holy crap. Yes, it's symbolism. Yes, it's over the top, but Jesus Christ, it's good. I mean, well, yeah, that guy, but yeah, it's this movie. And Perdo is fantastic in every scene.
Yeah.
He chews the dialogue in some lines. Like, there's a moment where the train hits and, are we dead? Like, he does.
He's on the floor like this, his head's off, and he's just like looking around like, hey, what's up? He's funny. He's genuinely funny and has good comedic
weird
timing.
Character.
Yeah.
And dear God, if they had to do that 50 times,
but when
congrats.
he has a point, it's like, oh God, he's onto something.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that about him.
And the ending of there's a shot, basically, when he gives everyone the chance of, he lets everyone go. Essentially, he's like, you all been dealt a horrendous crime, because the person that was killed is not an innocent man.
Yeah, not by a long
shot. But the major thing I will say about this movie is there's an end shot of all these people having all stabbed someone that basically brought destruction and death and pain and misery upon their lives by taking away a life that they all cherished or somehow were affected.
Quick thing.
Yeah.
Directed.
Uh-huh.
Starred. The director is also the star of this film.
Holy crap.
Once again,
mindfuck.
Yeah, I just realized. I'm like, why was it directed by the guy who did? I just realized I'm an idiot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How much did the movie cost by chance?
$55 million.
I hope it makes it back.
Yeah. Oh, it already made $9 million, so I assume that
it's gonna do well.
I assume there wasn't a ton of people, but I would assume it's probably gonna make at least probably 15, 20 million. And if it can get to maybe 30 million, I
think this will do well in Europe.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the spoilers. So yeah, there's a shot of all these people on a train going into the sunset, almost feeling, and then there's a moment of Perdo. He gets another assignment and he walks off. It's almost very poetic. All these people that committed a horrible crime, they finally have a future. They have a light at the end of their tunnel.
Yeah.
And they're going off to face it. While Perdo is a man almost stuck.
Yeah.
Solving crimes, solving this to bring balance to bring balance to a present and a future that he will never be able to achieve.
Yeah.
And it's almost a tragedy in regards to all these characters that suffer horrible fates.
Yes.
Are the ones that are that killed someone.
Yeah.
Are getting this ending, while the man that solved it is stuck in a loop, going back.
Yeah.
To going backwards in a sense after moving so far forwards. He changes his character at the end, and you can almost understand if this was a solo movie. You can almost understand why this is the most important film or book of this guy's career, because he does change. All of his life, he's always said there's right and there's wrong, but in this movie, he realizes that he has to live with the gray.
Yeah.
And it's so good how it's executed, so well done, that I enjoyed this movie so much.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, again, his performance is great. His chemistry as well with each of the characters. Him picking up and actually using like, oh, she doesn't know German. Okay. It's like, that's why we're talking like this. And it's just like a couple other things. Him talking with every single person with their own eccentric or unique personalities. William Dafoe, I'm like, oh God. Like, because they bring, again, this is 1930s. They bring up stuff that happened in the 30s. Whether it being laws or race or ideologies and stuff like that. And I'm just like...
There's also, like, strict laws and such. Like, they make note of a lot of things that... If you have a basic knowledge of history, you'll get it.
Yeah.
Like,
or even public opinion. I like that aspect. I'm like, oh wow, yeah, they're not
the opening especially.
Yeah.
With the priest, the rabbi, and the imam.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it could not have tied in more with a lot of stuff that's going on today.
Yes.
It works so well.
Who is guilty? Well, it's whoever you don't like the most.
Exactly.
That's who's guilty, and that's what the mob was doing. It's like, nope. And I love it. It's like, oh, who benefits from this? The guy ahead. Him. He did it.
All this found from a crack on the wall, which is like, I cannot see my crack on the wall. Like, he makes note of a reference of a case, and it works.
Yep.
I want to give a lot of praise to this movie because it's so good. I never would have expected it. This was a solid surprise. I expected something good, but get something fantastic. Wow.
Especially because maybe I saw the reviews and I was like, maybe this will be a good film. This is a fucking great film.
Yeah, this is making our top 10.
Yeah, I don't know why it's getting maybe not as positive reviews. That's a interesting question.
Yeah.
Because hold on. Stylish production.
Falls apart is at the climax?
Really?
What? I take offense to that.
Maybe it's the fact that they are currently grading it on the previous one, and as someone who has not seen the previous one, maybe that is better, but that being said, it was done 50 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And there's techniques and stuff like that you can do then and you can do now that's different. Again, they don't have access to CGI back then, so they have to use actual sets, and they have to rely on the performances, where in this case, you have to be a lot more clever. And I feel like they still have enough new things in this that's different from a lot of other movies out. I couldn't tell you the last murder mystery. I'm like, oh, I know who it is. It's that person because they're telegraphing it. But no, in this, I'm like, I'm sitting there trying to figure it out. I'm like, who did this? And even I'm like, I can't.
It kind of reminds me of, again, this is a Family Guy skit.
Yeah.
But there's a moment where they're like, it's like they make note of a guest star on Law and Order. And then it starts playing, and then the cops are like, we wonder, who killed this guy? And then it says, starring blank, and they're just like pointing, like smiling, like pointing right down. It's like, yes, this is the person that did it, obviously, because they're guest starring in this episode. Therefore, but they're all stars. Like, that's the thing. You don't know who it is. Yeah. And when it revealed that it's everyone, it's just like, oh, well then. Yeah. Because everyone else covered, and then everything makes sense because you see the puzzle pieces and you're trying to figure out who could have done all this, and you're maybe even thinking multiple people, but to have all 12, to have 12 strangers on a train is unthinkable, but then to realize they're all connected by a death, it's well done.
I hope the guy gets, like, I like him so much. I really want I hope he gets something for the Oscars or something like that. It's best actor, because I think He could. I think there's a chance he could.
I don't think he's gonna get Best Actor. But I hope he gets
my rationale.
something good.
If goddamn what's his name from Split? James McAvoy. There we go.
Is it McAvoy or Stewart? That's what it was.
Yeah. People are honestly saying this guy should get Best Actor, and if I think he's a dark horse that could possibly.
I don't think so, because he was okay.
Yeah,
he was good, but he had 23 personalities. You saw 5.
Yeah,
5 different stereotypes, which good, but I don't think that this movie I enjoyed far more, and yeah, the next murder mystery will be why your cat is cutting all the wires. But no, this movie is exceptionally well done. I give props to the director. Props to the main actor. Go check it out. It's major props.
This has been Greyshot 17
and 151, and we will see you next time when we see
Justice League. Oh, this is gonna be
guys.
It's like the plane coming in, and the co-pilot. I'm sorry. No, again, no offense to Zack Snyder.
The main director,
the pilot died or had a stroke and is currently out of order. So the co-pilot's bringing it in. It has one engine. It's going in for the landing.
No. This is the example.
Yeah.
DC is okay. Imagine there's the flight going in.
Yep.
Man of Steel was the plane.
Yep.
And it's coming in, and it looks to be taking off pretty well. It's holding its stability.
Yeah. Couple issues.
Yeah,
a little bit turbulence.
Nothing too much.
Yeah.
Then it comes in with Batman v Superman.
Oh boy.
And suddenly an engine goes.
Yep.
And suddenly it starts spinning.
And then Suicide Squad.
And then Suicide Squad is the other engine bus, and it starts really veering off course.
Yep.
Wonder Woman comes in and this pilot. This
miraculously
a person comes up, throws the director and steadies the plane, holding on to dear life. The director that was just thrown, the other pilot, comes back and grabs on, trying to steer the plane back into a collision course. No. Collision course. Then another guy, Josh Whedon, runs up, hits the director away, and helping the co-pilot, trying to steer this train wreck.
That being said, again, Zack Snyder had a personal loss. That's why he was removed, not because of some other thing. His daughter committed suicide.
To be fair, from what we've heard from this movie,
I'm not dissing Zack Snyder. He didn't have a lot of control over Batman vs Superman. Not as much as people think. That's a studio fuck up like The Mummy. But go ahead.
But yeah, after all this weird analogies and whatnot, this will be very interesting to see if this is a super crash and burn or just barely edible.
I'm hopeful, but watchable. Again, my expectation is really low based on the last team up movie, so we'll see. In any case, we'll see you next time.
See you next time, guys.
Before this video ends, I want to once again give a shout out to special Patreon supporters Ace, Sean, Carter, Leo, Tim, and Nick. Thank you guys so much for your awesome support. You guys can support me as well by hitting that like and subscribe button. Otherwise, I'll see you all next time.